like almost like a fiction novel, but it's quite real. A dead Kitengela man, Embakasi ranching, and North Koreans feud over 2.5 billion shillings land. Page 12 of the Daily Nation. So, a court to deliver a judgment on the rightful owner of land using the files and testimony lodged before it. So dispute pits a dead man's family against a ranching company and foreigners who separately claim ownership of suit parcels. So the story is like long and winded, but the basics are the fact that 1983 is the year when a land dispute involving 2.5 billion shillings worth of land in Kitengela began, and the Embakasi ranching company claims to have sold 3,000 acres. It claimed to have sold 3,000 acres of land to Mutekeni Kipoi for 2.1 million shillings. That was back in 83, right? Kipoi later died in 2013, and his family are asserting their ownership of the land. But in 2019, Embakasi Ranching claimed that the land actually belonged to them and that they never sold it to Kipoi.
Wow.
No, actually, they claim that they bought it in 1983 from this Mr. Mutekeni Kipoi. So it's theirs. The claim here is that we are the owners of these lands since.
Not that we did sell it to Kipoi.
Yeah. They claim that they bought the 300 acres in Kitengela for 2.1 million from
Mutekeni Kipoi.
Kipoi.
Okay.
Yes.
42 years later, the land is now worth 2.5 billion. That's quite some nice appreciation. And now there's the entry of new claimants from North Korea. So a firm registered in North Korea registered in Kenya with North Korean directors insists it bought the land in 2003 from Embakasi Ranching for 19.5 million shillings. Okay.
So all these claimants, have they come forward before? It's like all of a sudden.
So matter has been there for a while. It's a dispute that's been up and forth, right?
Yes.
It's unclear from court records whether this company, the Odai Kenya Limited, is owned by the North Koreans, but a CR12 from the company registry lists Wan Yang Kim and Ho Ik Park as the directors and shareholders with 10 and 990 ordinary shares respectively. One is also listed as secretary, one WAN, not one of them.
Oh, okay.
Wan Yang Kim. Wan Yang Kim.
Yes.
Yeah.
He is listed as a secretary with no shares, according to a CR12 filed in court on ownership of the company as of November 2021. It's a long-winded case.
But it's frustrating because what do the court documents say? I know we've just read an excerpt, but shouldn't the clarity come from that? Or is it more complex than that because it dates back to the 80s?
I don't know.
Like the court documents should be able to allow for that clarity.
That's where the issues come in. Because you're seeing that this gentleman, Embakasi Ranching, claims to have bought this land from Mr. Mutunke. Now Mutunke is deceased. It's Mutunke's people, Jemutai Mutunke as the first plaintiff and Naserian Mutunke as the second plaintiff, who are both suing as the legal representative and administrators of the estate of Mr. Mutunke, and they're asking the court to issue an order revoking the title deed in the names of Hode. Right? Now,
But
Hode is claiming, we bought this land from Embakasi Ranching, and this is the title. Embakasi Ranching is claiming, we bought this land from Mutunke in 1983, and this is the record.
Oh my.
So now, in 1983, hapo sasa ndio mambo inaanza. Okay?
And
so,
because here, the North Koreans have identified Mr. Kirago Kome as the individual who facilitated the transfer, executed through a sale agreement in 2003. They were to pay 1.95 million shillings to the vendor upon execution of the agreement, and the balance was to be paid on completion date. We were dealing with Mr. Kirago Kome as Mr. Facilitator, according to the court documents, but upon cross-examination by the lawyer for Embakasi Ranching, Ho Ilk could not explain why they were paying cash to an individual instead of depositing money in the company's bank account. Another contention in the case is who pocketed the balance. That's 17.5 million, given the total price was 19.5 million. The North Koreans are saying that they paid cash to their advocate's account in a bank that has since gone under, Daima Bank. Okay?
Okay. So that's where the paper trail becomes tricky.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
That statement, however, contradicts an earlier assertion by the North Koreans that they paid Mr. Mushiri 1.95 billion in cash on February 1.95 million in cash on February 27th, 2003. The court was also not furnished with evidence as to how 17.55 million was deposited into the bank account at Daima. I mean, I think it's very convenient that Daima is now non-existent. Although the North Koreans said the bank had gone under, they did not demonstrate efforts to contact the receiver manager appointed by CBK to provide bank statements. So even if the bank has gone under, there's someone who's still...
It goes further. Because now the DCI was tasked with investigating whether there existed an account like this at Daima Bank.
Right.
And that the bank's liquidation agent denied its existence. What?
So it's mambo ya mashamba hii Kenya. Mambo ya mashamba hii Kenya. This is it.
Especially if it dates back that far back.
Yes.
There's so many cases I know right now where people are struggling to reclaim the land they bought because it was in the 80s or 90s, life happens. You know that you bought it, you know you have the documentation, but somewhere along the way, things have changed, things have gone under, the person who gave it to you has died and they can't, support your claims.
Right.
And a lot of those are in court right now. But this one, you're right, it's like a soap opera.
Yeah, one of those.